We're back for, I think this is part 3. So this is the final part to the 16 parts that I had. And in fact, it's actually 15 once I looked at it. I somehow goofed up the numbers. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started with number 11, which was don't get revenge. I feel like, when you're fresh coming off of a breakup, in your mind, you feel that that is just the best thing to do, or not even the best thing to do. You just feel like it's just hard to fight not wanting to do that. So my suggestion is, instead of fighting the feeling, just remember, hey, if I do this thing, how am I going to feel tomorrow? How am I going to feel a week from now, a month from now, after doing this? Also, you want to think about the respect that you have for the person in the relationship when you were in the relationship. I recognize that things change once you're out of the relationship, but when you think about having integrity for yourself, respect for yourself, and all of those things, those qualities, that's the best choice, in my opinion. Just do not get revenge. And I do believe in karma, that what goes around comes around. And it's just not worth it. All that negativity is just absolutely not worth it. So I would say stay away from that. And as I always say, stick with the positive. Number 12. Don't speak negatively about them. I think that actually goes in line with not getting revenge, because like my mom had to remind me years ago, when I had gotten out of a relationship, I had met another guy. I want to say it was probably months after the relationship. I met another guy, and I said to her, he's more handsome than him, and he's this and he's that. And she had to remind me, honey, you thought he was handsome. You thought he was everything. So there's no need to, forget of how you once felt, because at that time he was right for you and it felt good for you, or good to you, to be with him. So that's something that you definitely want to keep in mind. Then to the Facebook drama. It's 2021, man. People are killing each other over being embarrassed over Facebook and things like that. You need to really think about the mental health of the people that you're dealing with. And just remember, think about those things before you go telling everybody's business and being inappropriate. These are things that come with maturity and growth. I feel like for younger people who may not be as mature, it's more difficult for them to not get the revenge and not go on Facebook and to not speak negatively about them. But I look at it like this. I know that when you met the person, everything was great. You really liked everything about them, and they really liked everything about you. So always go back to how you once felt, even if it changes. And just know that if you feel like it was a bad choice, that was a choice that you made. Just remember that. And the same thing for people who have children with people and hate their baby's moms or baby's dads. It's like, you made that choice to do what you did. And you have to remember where you were mentally when you made that choice. So you really can't be mad at anybody but yourself. It was your choice. I'm just going to be honest with you. Number 13, seek counsel. There's so many people that I feel like nowadays that are, just afraid to see a counselor or a therapist. And I think that says a lot about you. If you're afraid to go and see a counselor or a therapist, to me, that says that you're afraid to face yourself, to really get down and deep and learn about yourself and work on some things that you need to fix to make yourself a better person and to make yourself more at peace. So I would suggest that If you find yourself upset, depressed, feeling lonely, feeling confused, find yourself the right therapist. And sometimes it will take, you may have to go through a couple of them to figure out, okay, this is a good fit for me. This last therapist that I have been with, I've had her now for not a whole year, but this year, 2021. And I'm so happy that I found her, because I actually didn't have to go through her and others to see if it was a good fit or not. She has been a great fit for me. So I'm very grateful for that. She's very honest with me. She's not trying to, kiss my butt or to appease to me and, tell me whatever it is that I want to hear. She tells me what I need to hear, which is the truth. And I've had to do a lot of self-reflection, even more so recently than even before. And it's hard. It is hard to sit with yourself sometimes and deal with choices and mistakes and decisions that you've made. But you feel better after the fact when you recognize, okay, that's why I did what I did. Now, how do I get better from this? How do I help other people to not maybe make the same mistake, or support somebody who maybe made that same mistake? Number 14, be kind, gentle, and compassionate with yourself. I cannot stress that enough. I feel like we put so much stress and pressure on ourselves for things that we just don't even have to or need to. It's just so ridiculous. Like, life can be so much easier when you allow it to be. I think nowadays, because of Instagram and Facebook, sometimes we find ourselves comparing ourselves to other people. And that is so dangerous, because we will never be other people. We will only ever be who we are. And once, it's like the sooner that you can accept that and be in agreement with yourself in that, the better you will be. I mean, that's when you start winning the game of life right there. Because that comparison is it doesn't make sense to do it. Like, that's like me comparing myself to a person who is Japanese, who lives in Japan. I will never be Japanese. I will only ever be an African American young lady, black, part white, part Native American, based off of my DNA. My 1, 2, 3 and me. I can just imagine people who know me seeing this, and they would say, oh, you left out everything else. You got your test results back and blah, 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 blah. So let me just put that disclaimer out there. I don't want to hear anybody saying, oh, well, you left out your other ethnicities. But anyways, I'll only ever be me. I will only ever be this brown person that I am. So there's no need for me to compare myself to something or someone that will never be. Not only that, why should I do that when I can enjoy and fall in love and be in love with who I am? I mean, it just makes sense. All right. Number 15, which was also 16, because apparently 15 and 16 were 15 and 14 were practically the same thing. So numbers 15 and 16 together. Reclaim your independence. That is so important. I know for me personally, I've been in relationships where I allowed the other person to kind of control a lot of what I was doing with my life, who I was spending my time with, all kinds of things. And I think that it's so important to, in your single life, grab onto who you are and stick with that. I think it is important that if someone can bring something to your attention, maybe a negative, something that you need to change for the better, that's different. That's not them controlling you. But I would say, if someone's trying to tell you how to wear your hair, what clothes to wear, and this and this and this and that, you have to be very careful with that kind of stuff. And again, it always speaks to where your self-esteem is before you get into the relationship. You do not gain self-esteem in a relationship. It's something that you already had to have had somewhat of that in you. And if you are gaining that from being in the relationship, as I always mentioned before, that is something that someone else provided you that may or may not be there when they leave, if they leave or you leave. So definitely hold on to who you are, stand firm in that, because just like I said in the other video, the thing that someone else may hate about you, someone else will totally love about you and will embrace that. So definitely keep being you, love yourself, be your best friend, enjoy the time that you spend by yourself. I know I have a blast. I'm doing it right now, although I do have Papito here to get on my nerves. But anyway, come on up here and say goodbye to everybody. Come on. Come on. So goodbye from me, Tia Nicole. Had to remember my name. And Papito. Say bye, boo-boo. Bye. Take care.